Hey guys, check it out. Over my left shoulder is the brand new 2020 Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro, and over my right shoulder is the brand new Tundra TRD Pro. Now, of course, these two trucks don't compete. This is a mid-size truck, and this is a full-size truck, but they are both out here in Texas, and we are at an off-road course, so I thought it'd be fun to mash them up and see which of these two is better off-road. In other words, figure out if you're looking for a truck, should you go mid-size or full-size TRD Pro? And that is coming up right now. All right, I'm in the Tundra TRD Pro, the 2020 model, and of course, I think the biggest change is that there are now two USB ports down here instead of just one. In this video, I'm going to compare this Tundra TRD Pro to the Tacoma TRD Pro. Of course, in real life, this doesn't compete with a mid-size truck, it competes with a full-size truck. So if you were actually comparing this, you'd probably be better off to compare it to a Raptor, a Rebel, maybe a Silverado Trail Boss. But because we've got the Tacoma here and we've got the Tundra, let's see how they compare when it comes to off-roading. Now, of course, I think the biggest thing that's lacking in this truck is a locking rear diff. It's got a lot of off-road goodies. We've got Fox shocks, we got that big skid plate up front, we have a low range, but we don't have a locking rear diff. I am now in the Tacoma, and as much as I have driven this, I still can't get over the seating position. I feel like I am sitting on the ground. So let's take it off-road. Usually smaller is better off-road, just because it's more nimble, it's more agile, it's a little bit easier to maneuver. And I gotta tell you, down this first obstacle, it's about the same. I was really worried just about how much I was gonna get tossed around in this truck, and you know, rightfully so. The shorter, I'm gonna say, wheelbase and stiffer shock are making for a little bit rougher ride. So let's do a quick walk around and talk about what the two share in common and what they don't have in common. First and foremost, right away you can tell that both of them actually have a hood scoop. Unfortunately, in both of them it's non-functional. Now under the hood, of course, you've got two very different engines. Here you have a V6. Over there you have a very big 5.7 liter V8. They both get the TRD exhaust, which means that they actually both sound pretty good. But in terms of which one sounds better, I'm gonna have to go with the 5.7 liter V8. Under here, you'll notice, if you can see under the mud, is a TRD bash plate. That is one of the signatures of the TRD Pro line. Same thing over here. Way under there, TRD bash plate. And then hiding behind it with both trucks are specially tuned Fox shocks, so that a little bit more off-road worthy. And by the way, here's a top tip for all you Tacoma lovers. If you really want to lift your Tacoma, don't get the TRD Pro, get the TRD off-road, because the Fox shocks make this very difficult to lift. They both have tons of TRD badging. Let me show you over here. I love what the Tundra does. It actually puts the TRD Pro and stamps it into the bed of the truck. Now, how cool is that? Better than just a badge. Now, of course, we have special TRD Pro wheels, blackened out. And inside, check it out, you've got mud mats, Tundra TRD Pro, and of course on the seat it says TRD Pro, so you will never forget that you are in a TRD Pro. Taco, same thing, TRD Pro up here, red stitching, and same thing down there, TRD Pro Tacoma. So Toyota wants you to know that you're in the top level truck. But of course the big question is, which one is better off-road? Only one way to find out. Let's jump in and take it for a ride. Over the years, this has been the mid-size truck champion. There is no other way to describe it. And it is built right here in Texas. So if you want an American truck, this and the Tundra are actually it. And there's a reason it's such a good selling truck, and that's because off-road, it is just very capable. I've got my low range on, I've got my rear locker engaged. I'm not even using the A-track system, which it has. But it's just a little bit of a green mountain goat. It's just climbing up this steep grade like it's nothing. And you know, you combine that with Tundra's well-earned reputation for reliability, and you have a truck that can go anywhere, do anything, and last as long as you or me. And that's a tough combination to beat. All right, let's talk some important numbers. If you want capability, you're gonna want the Tundra because it tows more, just over 9,000 pounds versus, of course, just over 6,000 pounds. So there's a 3,000 pound difference in towing capability. But ironically, there's also a $3,000 difference in price. The Tundra starts at about $49,000 in the automatic, and the Tacoma in that same automatic about $46,000. It gets a little bit cheaper if you go to the manual. $3,000 price difference and a 3,000 pound towing difference. That's a little bit of food for thought for you guys. Now, which would you rather have? And I've always been just impressed by this truck's honesty, you know? I mean, you get what you pay for. It's not fancy, it's not particularly technically advanced, but at the same time, it's honest. And I have this feeling that like 20 years from now, when there's so much tech and everything that it's driving us from actually experiencing and driving vehicles, you're gonna miss that. You're gonna miss the simplicity of this thing, the straightforward nature of it, the fact that it's not pretentious, and the fact that there isn't so much technology you feel overwhelmed by it. As you can tell, you do kind of sit down in the truck, and that raised hood with that, let's call it cosmetic hood scoop, it's not grand for visibility. I don't really see the front of the truck, but I do have cameras here along with kind of an inclinometer, so it tells me how much the truck is leaning. Let's use crawl. I'm going to use a crawl system. Let the truck do all the work. And look at that, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. It's like I'm in a percussion section of a band here. I can speed that up so I can go a little bit faster. And I can let the technology do all the work for me. Go even faster. And just point and shoot, and the truck does everything. There we go, here's the mud pit. Last obstacle for the truck. Gets a little deep, stay in the ruts, use the ruts, and out we come. Looky there. As always, I'm sitting behind myself in the Tundra, and look at this. I mean, good God, I could, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, now this is the way to travel. Plenty of headroom, plenty of leg room. It's just a really comfy truck. If you're gonna go on a road trip, full-size truck is the pinnacle of road trip vehicle. But let's try that in the Tacoma. I think the answer will be much different. I'm sitting behind myself in the Tacoma, and as you can tell, I don't have any headroom, I don't have any legroom, and because someone taking this off-road, I feel like I'm inside of a coffin. I barely fit into the front seat of the Tacoma. Back here, it's super tight. Let's face it, if you want room and if you want comfort, you gotta go with the Tundra. Let's just quickly go over what we've learned. So if you want the more off-road worthy one, the one with the desert air intake, the one with the locking rear diff, the one that is the gazelle out there, then certainly go for the Tacoma TRD Pro. But if you need to haul, if you need to tow, if you need to be comfortable like me, then you're probably better off with the Tundra TRD Pro. Either way, if you're a Toyota fanboy, this has got to be a dream mashup. As always, Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Truck. Check out tfltruck.com for more news, views, and of course, Tacoma versus Tundra TRD Pro reviews only on TFL Truck.